Hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. So, welcome. My name's John. Do you guys hear doubling? I hear doubling, and it's probably I'm gonna have to ignore it, but I'm hoping you guys don't hear it. Do you hear it doubling? I'm gonna click my finger. It's a whole bunch of, right? Do you hear that, or is that just a single click? For me, it sounds like 2 or 3. And I've checked my settings, and I don't have. No, it sounds great. No doubling here. Okay, good. Well, I hear doubling. It's gonna drive me crazy. But as long as you guys don't, I don't care. So there is so much to show you guys. Yet again, a nice busy week. Ooh. To start with, drum roll please. Actually, we could go over here. Check this out. Labs has been updated. The new link is already in the video description. And we could go here to ZBPM. I think I put it under drum. Yeah, I did. There's a new patch. There's both, let's see if we go percussion. Let's see here. PERC. So under perc, the perc library, that is a new library you can download from Spitfire Audio. You can also, the ZBPM has, I went through Unified and took the drum grooves from the drum grooves and added percussion. So you solo this, got that percussion. That's from this new Spitfire Labs library called Percussion. And there's 10 different grooves. It's the same grooves as the ones with the drum kit, but now with percussion. So that is available with the percussion grooves included. Let's just call it this is for second. So this is in the unified Spitfire library, which you guys, many of you contributed to. There is now the ability to spin the knob, right? And all the grooves have percussion. Right? And you can go to MIDI box if you want. Remember, there's parameters right here for the window of what is played in the MIDI file. So I bring this down. I bring down the stuff that's the percussion's in. It's basically a general MIDI map and then percussion above it. Bongos show up first. Then congas and shakers, right? So that is available for your dining pleasure. If you own Unifi, this is a really fun library. You can add all these other patches to it as well to Cool. So it makes labs just that much better. They're adding more free things all the time, and here they are adding that. Let's see here if I go testing 1, 2. That's better. There. I had the sound of Apple sound being fed back through the Universal Audio, which is already being fed back through the application to make it so you can hear it. So I fixed it so it sounds better for me. Okay, so I mentioned labs, right? It just enhances the library. Just type percussion up here if you want. And you will see the percussion kit itself is right here. It's basically a general MIDI map of kick, side stick, snare, another snare, toms and hats, crashes, rides. And they didn't do much as far as round robin. They do some things that have velocities, soft sample. So it's not one of these libraries where you're going to get all this amazing variations in dynamics by just playing the same note and getting different samples to play and so forth. Oh. No round robins. Bongos, congas are really weird. Normally you don't have the pitch fall off at the end of it, but Euro, clave, wood blocks. Triangles. Good. I'm glad it still sounds good there because now it sounds better here. I was kind of going insane because I was hearing like doubles with a slight bit of latency, so it was very weird. But I think we're in a better place. So that is available. Kreaturesque is an incredibly fun library that I did with a musical friend of mine and a dear friend of mine for 31 years, Kathy Talbot. She's a female vocalist. She's actually moved to Mexico. I think I'm going to go visit her in the end of May into early June. We're setting up some recording sessions with some instruments that are in the San Miguel area, trumpet player, accordion, nylon guitar, all sorts of things to do some sort of a cool little sound. Oh, I'm showing a new library that's not out yet. Rocky Mountain Sounds. Our own Mr. Jason Schopfer has a mind-blowing library coming. Wait till you guys see. Polarize exists already, but he's now made it Polarize X. It's been unified. It comes with bonus unified patches. You're going to love it. It's unbelievable. It's such a great library. So that is going to be really, really, really cool. So following our exchange earlier this week. Done. Just please patience. Okay, we'll get, I appreciate very much your email and I will get to you. Yes, that's not something we can talk about in the live stream. Okay, so Kreaturesque is a library that's main emphasis is vocal samples from Kathy, and she had some friends work with her as well. One of the fun things with this is I did some really cool processing. So we would and that one doesn't have any melody change, so you could like, and it works. But some of these have see, are these aren't the tweaked. Oh, here we go. Latin like 7. Maybe, where did I put them? I haven't played with this library in its completeness. Oh, here we go. So here's the Latin. Now, this one I didn't do, but 4 I did. See how it's got the melody in it? I used Melodyne. That's the process, but there's also here without processing them. I use Melodyne to remove the melodies. So you can play these pads that don't change pitch, but they have a change to the vowel, the consonant, what's being said. And then the Mega Magic version adds reverb and beautiful things to make. Oh wait, Latin 4. So this has processing now. We've added some really cool controls to the knob, so you can add some Unifi effects. So they're all ready for all sorts of cool use in different productions. On top of this, there's all these really cool Dream. Some of these are inside of Unifi. If you were to go to a new instrument layer, that's a Guru sampler. Did I make any of her voice? Yeah, Dream Pad. Like these are some of the Mega Magic. The Kreaturesque library contains this many samples. But the full library has hundreds, 380 samples. Much, much, much more to work with. So all sorts of... And now it's been unified, so I could take this, I could go to the Latin with the phrase and add that. And bring up the processing on that. To make all sorts of cool layers. Let's see, what else could we add to this? Let's add odds. We had the ooze, so let's add odds to this. So new layer with this. And if you need to be airier, you've got the EQ right here to make just amazingly beautiful, layered, cool things. This also has my dog Athena barking. So Athena is in the house. And I think there's a whole bunch of bonus patches made by Kid Anthem. Jason Schopfer made some patches. Airwave. So Athena shows up. This Athena bop is cool. Go to Cloud City. Let's go over here to like a MIDI box. Let's have also some sort of a cool skip hip hip. Then you go over here, back to Kreaturesque. Go to some BPM bonus synth like dual pad thing. Follow the White Bulldog. So all sorts of fun places to go. There is no gift certificate option at the website. Email me and I can get a little email prepared to send to someone if you want. I've done that for people for birthdays and there's gifts and stuff like that. Exactly, doggies. Hey, Jeremy Hall. Let's give Jeremy Hall a shout out. He helped unify this. Thank you, Jeremy. Let's get something else going on. Take it up 2 octaves. And then what's fun with this is take this whole thing and like go somewhere totally different with something like Bazille. Sorts of places to go with this fun stuff. Anyway, you get the idea. There's also a bonus library. A lot of you were around at this time. Some of you weren't. But Plugin GuruNation made a bonus library for Kreaturesque. We had a little competition and people made patches and it was a lot of fun. There's over 160 patches that go all over the place. For some people, it's their first time making patches. So some things are more basic, but there's all sorts of cool stuff in here. On top of this, the other thing that's cool with Kreaturesque is it's got my dog. It's got, I went to Maui like 6-7 years ago with my daughter. And I recorded the ocean at this really cool beach. You can filter it nicely. All the vocal samples, the processed Latin sounds. And you go down here to the phrases where it says Latin 7. Really change pitch on you, right? Then there's vocal sound design. Kathy does film trailers and she's gotten really, really good at it. And so these are some vocal phrases. She puts these into the trailers that she does. There's transformations.
Can you hear me?
Then there's a lot of vocal talking of saying things.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
The loop version loops so that you can. So these are great for all sorts of textures and dance grooves and techno grooves and industrial stuff. Right?
Make a wish.
Wait for me.
When this library first came out, it was around Halloween, so that's at the time.
Alone.
And then she did like all these variations.
Alone. Way. Blood.
blood,
which get all sorts of
Death. Evil. Suffer.
you know. So there's great stuff. She even does suicide. We'll skip that one. Then Airwave, Jason, Alan Polly, known as Kid Anthem, made all sorts of bonus patches. I made some too. All sorts of fun stuff. We can set these guys here to be key split, right? Right click on each one, say B, so. Oh wait, let's see, I did it wrong. Right click, right. Oh, it's not letting me do it. Right click. Idea. There's a ton of really fun stuff. It's actually the only library I have with vocal samples. I haven't done a lot of choir type things and stuff before. So this is the one library I've done that was vocal based. And so it's cool to have this available. It's been used a lot. I hear it on a lot of tracks all over the place. It's great. And again, the bonus, you're just going to find all the weirdest stuff that you never thought you would hear. There's some crazy things in here. The textures. Bees from Hell. All sorts of crazy stuff. Are they Unify created extra patches or O2 created extra patches? Most of them are Omnisphere bonus patches here. I did do one this morning. I was playing it to start when I started up the live stream. That was the, it's in the full library BPM key. Z BPM key. Happy Doggy Dance. Which is using two different Omnisphere. And then DX. And then we have all sorts of motion rhythmic dancing things. Put those all together and you have a right? You just add some sort of fun groove to it and off you go. The library is at a very special price. There's a link in the video description. I can pop it up over here as well. Kreaturesque. Nothing like it. I'll tell you, it's a unique library. And now it has support for Unifi. So it's really fun to layer and do all the fun things you can do with Unifi, right? So there, paste. So there is a link to the library. Thank you for your business and support. All right. There's all sorts of murder mayhem. It's all in this library because it was done, you know, Halloween time. So there's stuff that gives you goose pimples for sure. All right. So a couple things to show you guys that have shown up. For one thing, let's talk about Spitfire Audio's new library from Heinbach. This is a unique library. We will be unifying it. Tentatively, I get to interview Heinbach next week in the next week's live stream. We've been talking about doing a thing. I first met Heinbach 2 years ago at the Tom Synth event. We did this really cool music synth event for YouTube people, and I got qualified as a YouTube person. They invited me to come to Tom Music in Treppendorf, Germany, and spend 4 or 5 days there making videos with, it was company sponsored. The companies paid for everybody's flights and for the food and for accommodations. And then we made videos for their products, for our channels. So we would get, people would see the videos that would help sell their products. It would help grow our channels and sell stuff. So it was really, really cool. Heinbach was very cool. A pleasure to meet him. And he's done some great things since then. He has first done, if you're familiar with, like right now, there's only one patch for the Heinbach library. He's done a couple of things with audio things that are really, really cool. As far as audio effects that are trying to mimic older gear that had unique personalities. This is a library he has done. It's a $29 library. It's not for everybody. I will tell you that right now. It has, it's basically using older machine gear to make cool instruments, like mechanical sounds that are playable. And so by using this gear, setting up in weird combinations of different types of gear, and then mixing it, and then processing it, and then processing it, and doing other things. And the Spitfire Audio team, they worked on it. If you get this, be aware, in your plugin list, it shows up under SA. He has an album, I believe, I don't know if it might be out now, that is also on the SA. Spitfire Audio has branched off into albums, and they have a whole record label arm. And so Heinbach is on the record label arm as well. So it's under SA. You saw that, right? I kind of did it very fast. But if you go down here to SA, it's SA Recordings is where the plugin shows up, not Spitfire Audio. It's not a Spitfire Audio, like one of their libraries. This is an offshoot. And they have a couple other libraries from other artists that are part of the SA Recordings label. And so this, it has, I think, you know, it's obvious that Spitfire Audio hired somebody to make this interface for them, for their plugins, and they've used it in everything from Abbey Roads and BBC Symphony Orchestra to these, to the labs. And this is a library where it would have really benefited to not use this minimalistic design. This is really, I mean, you can click here and get to different parameters here. I'm going to set up so that you have access to parameters and real-time controls here, but it'd be fun to see this and have it represent more what this library is about. This has no representation whatsoever to what the library is about. You play these cool dystopian mechanical sounds. They have nothing whatsoever to do with what you see on the screen. So there's a number of different categories. If you click here, they have their traditional categorizing in libraries. There's cling, which are combinations of various elements from the library put together. Kind of like a Unifi patch. It's not just one sample. And then down below that, they have clang, which is over here to stretch or distortion. Now they don't give you access to it there, but I believe I can reach in here. This doesn't have attack, decay, sustain, release. Go to your landfill totems, stretch. And now I believe if this parameter is 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's called stretch. I should. No. They have to make it available in the patch or else it doesn't work. So you look here to see really cool, unique sounds. Play with this because this changes components in the sounds. So it's very cinematic. Take something like this, put nice reverb on it. We have it here. The reverb that comes with it is really limited. It's very short. I don't care for it. So add Unifi reverb. Really cool, very unique. Goes all over the place as far as what you're going to find. There's also other categories beyond clang, knars. Something 9 Inch Nails would make useful. And then there's Procs, which is drum hits. So it's very experimental. There are loops. They are audio files. I found, yeah, they still don't give you access. It's interesting. If the plugin doesn't have it enabled for that sound, then you can't use stretch, even though it shows up in the list of things you can modify. So it's a $29 library. It's not like it's got like 8 gigabytes of sounds, but it's all these cool motor things. If you need some sort of cool introductions. Anyway, we get to interview Heinbach. Bring your questions next week, and we will have a nice time talking about alternate sound sources and how they can be used to make cool stuff. So Don Dobe, a dear friend of ours, I think by the end of the week, he will own every library that we have at the website. He's a music producer. He's worked on some really cool stuff. He's asking a good question that we will cover live, and that is, there's a new effect from Tone 2 called Warlock. We have the unified patches. There's going to be 3 libraries released next week. Heinbach, 3 libraries next week in Unifi format will be released. Heinbach will be released in Unifi. Virtual String Machine, which I will show you in just a bit, will be unified. And Warlock. And Warlock is a new synth. I'm going to quit Unifi because I'm also running Unifi over here in Logic. So I can go over here, show MIDI happening. And here is Unifi. And the question has come up, how would you get a VST instrument to work inside of Unifi? Because it only is available right now as a VST3. Like Logic Pro only uses audio units, right? So how would you get that to work? And it's actually really easy. You hit the little plugin icon, go down here to operations, and you say select plugin files to scan. And you would go to your VST folder, which on the Mac is located. Oh, I don't have the little header information going showing. But if you look here, it's your Macintosh HD, whatever your hard drive name is, library, audio, plugins, VST3 folder. And at that point, you will find Warlock, WARLOCK.VST3. Hit open. Boom. Done. Now it's there. So now all you have to do is go to your little dot, go to select all instruments, go down to tone 2, and here's Warlock. And turn audio. Let's see here. It shows audio is playing there. Oh, and I turned it down here. So now we've got it working inside of Unifi, inside of Logic Pro X, which is only audio unit only, but this is a VST3 plugin. But because Unifi can work with any format, if you use Pro Tools, we now have an AAX version so that you can run this into Pro Tools, and now you can load any of your VST, VST3, and audio unit plugins inside of your Pro Tools productions, which is pretty cool. This plugin can crash. In fact, I'm going to save my song because if I do too much, it might crash on me. Here, check this out. You guys want to do something together live for the first time? I'm going to go to my mail. Jeremy Hall did the conversion of Warlock into Unifi format. I have not loaded it yet. Let's see here. I know there's no preview. It's testing it to see if it's, I haven't even downloaded it yet. So we're going to download it and we're going to install it together. Still scanning for viruses. All done. So click to download, down to the desktop. There it is. So this is what you do when you get the final version from me at the end of this week. When it's available and I've released it as available. I have to check it first before I share it with everybody. You drag it over Unifi's interface, or I'm finding out that a lot of you guys on PC, you can't do the drag and drop from Windows 10. So you go down here to where you see all this wonderful information and you would say, maybe because I'm not in standalone. I don't work it this way. I just drag it over the top all the time. But let's see, if we go to Unifi standalone, maybe it shows a ability to go here to the settings. Here we go. On the standalone, you can't do it from oh, you can. Duh, I'm blind. Right here where it's green says select Guru file. Select Guru file, select open. And it says, do you want to install? And you say, okay. It's now going to do a patch database rebuild, which will take it a second because there's a lot of patches here. And then we can try it out. We'll try out some of the Warlock patches in real time live for the first time in Unifi. So there you go. We haven't done this before in a live stream, so it's kind of exciting. Hit close. Shouldn't take it forever. There we go. Go down the list, Unified Warlock. Now, I'll change it to Tone 2 or probably T2. I try to keep the name of the companies in here so that we've got that to work. But, VST plugin. Oh, okay. So I think that it needs the VST plugin, not the VST. I think I have the VST3. Let's look. So this is an error message a lot of you have seen. You're familiar with this, right? So let's go down here and look at Warlock. And I have VST3. It needs the VST2. So we go Operations, select plugin files to scan, VST2. Warlock is I don't know if I got a... I think on the Mac, it only gave us a VST3. I think that's one of the weird things. Okay, so much for this fun. I try to do stuff like this out of the blue without planning for it, and look what happens. Let me look here to see. Yeah. On the Mac, it only gives us a VST3. On the PC, it gives us VST2 and VST3. Jeremy built it with the VST2. So I'll have to talk to him. Jeremy, look it. Dude, I might have to ask you to do it again in VST3 format, because this is one of those where they did not include one for the, they didn't include VST2 for the Mac. So I can't play it. Sorry about that. Thought we could have something fun, show something like that, but no. So there you go. Let's see here. Oops. Yeah. I didn't know that. I forgot. I should have mentioned something, because I think I had noticed that, but I didn't really pay attention to it. But crazy stuff. Okay, well, so I'm sorry I can't show you that in unified format, but in VST3 format, it is here. And it's a pretty cool synth. It's very unique in the way that it makes it sound. It has both wavetables with some really cool looping abilities for how it does not only the wavetable, but it has another thing of motion to. If I play with this, it will crash. I've been able to successfully crash it all over the place, and I've emailed Marcus, this developer, and they're working on the fix. Maybe by next week, when we release the unified library, they'll have a fix. So fingers crossed on that. So Warlock from Tone 2 is a cool new synth. There is something I want to also point out to you. ADSR. There is another synth that is on special this week that you need to check this out. If you love string machines, GForce's String Machine is by far probably the most incredible plugin for string pads, and especially when you're trying to get like the whole let's go over here to the Selena. If you go over here to the violins, gentle and slow, all of the string ensemble patches from every string machine. They're beautiful. This is a library we'll have unified by next week, I believe, hopefully. And it is available, instead of $129, you can find it online for $44.20. So I was talking to Shane about this because he loves string machines, and I have yet to hear in software synthesis on some sort of a virtual plugin any string ensemble patch that sounds anywhere close to what the ARP and the other ones sounded like. And so this is a library that's sample based. It comes with a ton of different, there's like so many different strings in all sorts of different variations. Takes a minute to load. Different artists have made libraries for this. The GX1, there's a library of samples for it. Basic, and then okay, they don't have anything slow, so let's make it slow. So here's your amp envelope, and we're playing. Let's hit link, so it turns everything blue. So You have filters to work with. You have a phaser you can turn on. It also has a stereo imaging with up to one of the things that drives me nuts is everything is only 4-octave based. So you can't get it to get the whole bottom range of my keyboard won't play. And it's just like, oh, I want to do it. So in the unified version, I will make some where they have like what they call their low and their high for different things. I'll make them so one patch can play across 5 octaves of keyboard because it's really nice to have that ability. There's just something about the vibe of the older machines for strings. It's a wonderful. And you combine this with other sounds. Say we go to the key. So we go key. Something like even like Dreamy Roads would be nice with this. Just a nice vibe. It's really cool to have. So if you want this, it's available. We hope to have it unified for next week. And what it offers is just all sorts of really beautiful. Nice. Cool. Okay, so let's see here. Again, I'll put a link into the chat here. GForce has so many wonderful instruments. On top of, if you don't know about all that they have, GForce also has the most exhaustive and beautiful, where is it? GForce, the Mellotron. It's a similar interface where they have 2 layers and you can link to play them. So it's basically the same layout, different samples though, because it's all the different parts, artist patches. All these people made really cool, nice, pretty Mellotron combination things. So you have all of the classics, and they have a whole bunch of other additional banks of things you can add to it. It sounds cheesy, but when you play it, it works, and it's good. And they go all over the place. The Biotron. It has that wonderful vibe of the old samples. The orchestra, Black Sabbath. Funky. Yeah, it's from the original tapes. It's very well preserved, and you do have controls up here to work with. And to augment this inside of Unify, all you have to do, go to Layer, go to Auxiliary Effects, and go down here to, like, say, I like the from patches. These are patches where I've pulled out combination layer, an auxiliary bus that had maybe reverb and delay or something. So you could say chorus delay into Zen verb. Then bring up the auxiliary send amount and the volume. So you have all these really cool and if you're not sure if you like that preset, now that you've loaded an auxiliary bus, you can click this little dot right here and go to replace from layer preset. And now you see that same list of all those effects. So you go, oh, maybe I just want to do reverb. And let's go over here to Hall 3 second, or how about Secret Fantasy, 5.6 seconds. Cool. Find the right mix, balance that you want. If you want it to be shorter, just open up the Dragonfly Hall Reverb. Decay parameter is what controls the length of it. Right? It's that easy to add effects to anything that you're working with. And what's fun with it being an auxiliary bus, this means you can do fun tricks where you have no effects. And you bring it up. And the tails can still fade out because the auxiliary send, once the sound is in an auxiliary bus, it continues to ring out. If this is just a wet dry mix of a reverb over here, then when I brought down the mix, it would just clamp up and go away. Hello, Isabella from Stockholm. You're never late. Never feel late. Just glad you're here. Thank you for joining. Very fun. We're looking at GForce Audio and their awesome sets of effects and instrument plugins. Another one of theirs that's really great you should know about is the Mini Monster. This is one of those where you want the interface to get big right away, and somewhere settings, like I can't even read it barely. There is somewhere a place to change the size of the interface. Let's see here. Come here, please. Modes. There has to be a way to resize it. They have these keys down here that can change from one preset setting. Which is very cool and unique. The patches are right here. It has wow. They did a pretty good job. Here's where you do the patch adding and so forth. You can even name them. If you go down here to the list, you can choose different loads. Like here's Wakeman. So really great if you love big mini Moog 3 oscillator type sounds. It's great. So check out all of the things GForce has. ADSR. Did I put the link in the chat? I don't think I did. Don't forget about GForce OBE. Yes, I will show one last plugin of theirs, which is their newest plugin, GForce OBE. This was recently released. This is the 8 oscillator, 8 voice. It has cool tools down here you can turn on so that you can change. It's really nice. Right? Let's see what else we got. Hit the load button to go through everything. The alpha patches is where they have nice pads. And remember, the thing that's unique about this is that each voice, when the light lights up, it's playing that synth. So if you change the settings of that one voice, you're changing that. So you can make it fall apart pretty easy. But maybe that's a cool way to work. It's cool to have each voice fully independent and able to be modified in unique ways. So yeah, OBE is wonderful. Definitely one to look at and to work with. And we unified this already, which makes, this way of finding patches, it's nice to have it unified. So if I don't think the unified OBE library is here, so we would go reveal in the Finder. I think I need to hide this because there's a few things we're working on you can't see quite yet. Go to over here to the unified libraries. GForce OBE, drag that down to the libraries folder. Over here, rebuild attached database. We can change patches whilst rebuilding the patch database. Like this is the big reset. If we go over here to all libraries and say the big reset, there it is, as a Unifi patch. Okay, what happened here? Oh boy, we're just having great success here. Okay, so go here. This should not be doing this. Strange. We'll have to look at this because this is not right. It was working fine. But there is definitely something not right. Shane, any idea what's... It's not loading the patch names or anything. Very strange. Huh. something we will look at. I'm not sure what is going on there. Okay. Yeah, we're not sure what's going on. It was working fine. So, I don't know what to say. I'm having it do a batch rebuild of everything to see if that fixes. No. Okay. Something is not right with that. So we will get to that. Other libraries are working. Zebra works. Zebra 2 works. So I don't know what that's about. That's very strange. So I apologize for this hiccup. Not expecting that to be like that. Let me do this. We're going to go over here. I want to show you a new effect that has come out. It's a really cool compressor from our friends at Denise. BPM split. Let's call up something that we don't mind hearing for a little while. Because, let's see, BPM split. I'm on, oh, melodic techno. Oh, let's play with melodic techno. That'd be kind of cool. This is using Serum. Need to be faster than 105 beats per minute. So we're going to go right here and replace this with this new effect from Denise. It's called Dragonfire. And it's a rather interesting, you can drag right here to resize it, user interface. It has both multi-band and single band to work with. They have presets here you can choose from. I don't like their patch loading interface. Oh, well, you get to have a plus and minus over here once you get started. So you basically have some really cool tools. Oh, this is solo. Where's multi? What's cool with this is it has drive. Curve for the type of shape. Whether you want to do a full mix or you can do sidechain mixing where it's 50-50. So you can have this like doing something radical to the frequencies. Also the different ways to process the mix, and what I just love the way that it can take the compression is a very whoa. Let's see here. We don't need 33 dB of gain. Really do some nice shaping for the mix, how you want it to sound. That's really too hot. So here's without it. With it. It's cool to have the EQ and the compression and drive. Random's fun for just finding weird stuff to do with it. Anyway, it's a really cool compressor. Oh, what's that? Oh, I think oh yeah, because I don't have a. I wasn't using anyhow. The top down GoPro just let me know it died. Let's see other examples. Let's do another set with compression. Let's go to a different vibe. Let's go over here to BPM split. And instead of 122, we need to be quite the opposite. We need to be slower. Let's say like 84. Let's replace the Enforcer, which is our own, with the Denise Dragonfire. We need to have a special effect we use when we say it. It's Dragonfire. It needs to be slower still. That's too fast. There we go. So you can really open up the mix. Yeah, I've got it set totally wrong. That's nice. So it's got a cool personality to it. It's lets you do basically tonal compression, so you can add harmonics. Change the settings. I thought the mix. Yeah, my ears are not telling me what's going on exactly because my mix is kind of weird, but that's nice. Compare without. Bypass, then so you get the idea. It does some really nice things to the mix. Let me show you the link to their page if you want more information. There's some nice videos there. Dragon Fire. It's Denise.io, and that will get you to their website so that you can find the Dragonfire information, the push-pull graph, the ability to do where you basically overemphasize and pull it back. And I'm not demonstrating it very well today, but it's a really nice compressor overall. So there. Just want to point that out to you guys. And then for the last little bit of this live stream, I'm going to just give you guys a little cute tour of, I got away to do some photography this week and had a really nice time. I actually tried to make a video. I don't think it's going to work out. The wind was blowing like crazy out there. Let's start the little video tour. I went about an hour and a half to the east of me. There's this really cool kind of transforming between the super, well, it's not like super wet, but where the Columbia River Gorge is, where it's really green, all the waterfalls. As you head farther east, it turns into desert. And there's this place between the towns of Hood River and the Dalles where it does this transform, and you get a little mix of the two, and you find beautiful flowers. And a friend of mine posted on Facebook that he just got one of these. And so I took it out for a spin, driving it out there, setting up. Here's a drone shot of it. And if I don't see, if I open up here, I'm just sitting in the seat over here, chilling right here, flying the drone while sitting inside the luxury of this thing. But it's got a nice bed in the back. It's got a sink. It's got space for camping out all night. I parked it on the side of the road below it's called the Rowena Crest, and camped out there. And it was really, really nice. And what I saw was this. Beautiful wildflowers. These are called balsam root. And they were blooming at the time. They were just prime. So it was really a beautiful time to go. Let's see, is there anything else here from the sunset? This is sunset in what's called the Dalles Mountain Road, which is north of the Dalles, and then the Washington side, there's these hills that just light up with wildflowers. Everywhere you look is lupin and balsam root, just crazy, crazy, crazy gorgeous. Beautiful stuff. And so it was fun to be out with my camera, take pictures of the wildflowers, have wind blowing all over me instead of sitting in the studio. It was really refreshing, really nice to get out and see what is out there. Took my Sony camera with me and had a wonderful trip. Got up the next morning for sunrise. I have a couple shots here. I still have a lot of work to do to these. Oh, that was another one from sunset with the clouds and a little bit of God ray moment and stuff like that. The following morning, it was just crazy beautiful. This is when I have a lot more work to do to get this right because of the range and the dynamic range. But there's a Columbia River, the mountains, and then the sun was rising here. Kind of got a sun star with a tree, which is really nice. Sun hitting on the foreground, but not over here, and then dappled light in the background. It was just a really, really wonderful experience. So I took off Wednesday and Thursday to do this. It's probably why I'm not quite as organized as I am usually. So I have my excuses. I wanted to be out and be in nature a little bit and see this world that we live in and not just make sounds all day. So being out and standing out here charges my inner battery so that I can keep doing this. All interconnected. So it was a really beautiful time to be out. This is a cool drone shot from looking down at some of the trees that they haven't started to bloom and turn green yet. So they're like skeletal. Really, really cool with water running down the middle. So it was just a really, really fun experience. Really good time. No dogs with me because out here in these areas, ticks like crazy. I went out here one time I had two other dogs years ago, and I brought them out here and they ran along the flowers and got back to the car, and there was just, you'd scratch their chest and all these ticks you had to brush out before they got into their coat and start eating on them. Not fun. So no dogs. If you go out here, if you go into this area, don't bring your dog. Tell you right now, it's not a good experience for them in the long run. So, you know, the old dead tree needs a couple ravens. Well, you know, I could, at the right time of night, I could see making them, or in fact, I think I did take some, this overlook is really, really cool. I'll go back and visit this place again. So enjoy. No, I'm not a modern Da Vinci or anything like that. It's fun to go and make sure you find hobbies that you love. I've been doing photography for 20 years, and it's really kind of my yang to the yin of being in a studio and sitting here and looking at computers for hours and hours and dealing with sound and stuff. The other side of that is getting out and seeing nature, and I'm going to do a lot more of that. I've got all sorts of big dreams of kind of like visiting and traveling the world, almost digital nomad style. I'll share with you, I'm even thinking of putting this house up for rent and living in other countries for like 3 months at a time in different places and building libraries while I'm there. Just letting the influences and the go to Bali, make something with the Balinese gamelons and the orchestras and all that kind of cool stuff. I just want to kind of do it all, make some new sounds, you know? And the interesting thing is, if you start to study photography and get serious about it, I haven't talked about this a lot, but there's really serious connections with photography, with the subject, with support, with the technique. All the stuff that you do for writing a song is very similar to what you do for making a nice photograph. They're not that far away in your brain what the artistic quotients are for successful photos. If you're taking really busy photos without a lot of like stuff to help guide the user, then you're into kind of like weird 20th century classical pieces, you know, that are hard to follow. But if you find the right components and get the right composition to things, I really love this one. Came out really nice. Then, you know, by finding the right composition pieces and placement and so forth, it's very, very similar to music or sound. When I'm making sounds, I use these same rules that you see here for the sounds that I make. There has to be your principal focus. There has to be support. The environment has to support what you want. You know, taking the same picture at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it would look like crap. It just doesn't look right. But if you're there in early morning light or late night, this is at sunset, when you start getting color, and luckily there's clouds. So many times I come out here, there's no clouds. And so then you have to replace this sky with a fake sky or something like that. That's the real sky that was there. It's really, really fun. But photography calls upon similar disciplines, but you have to be out in the field. You have to go somewhere. You have to take your camera. You have to get a tripod, circular polarizer. You've got to use filters just like you use in synthesizers. It's very, very similar. It's not that much different. You know, we have sampling rates and stuff for audio production. They've got ISO settings and the aperture and shutter speed, and that little trinity of how those work for image quality versus the image speed. The winds are blowing like crazy. If you see some of these flowers, they were dancing sideways at times because of the wind. So have to just know what you have to do to get the technique to work so you can get the shot. But it's the same for music. You play any of my sounds, I'm using those same rules for the sounds that I make in synthesizers. Very, very closely the same. There has to be subject. There has to be reasons for what's there. It has to be focused. And the more focused it is in presentation, the better it translates to you guys, right? So, yeah. There's one I really was enjoying playing here from Cloud City a couple of days ago. The BPM bells. They're kind of stuck in between right here at the very end. Dancing Flames is just, I love this one. It's so fun because it's using I made these maps. Oh, it's gonna do that to me. Yeah. It does this thing when it's sample based. When it's been turned into the libraries that you guys see, it shows you the sample name. Here it doesn't. But this is a example of a patch where it's using a round robin of different samples. Is this on my ear? So each time I play a note, Blue Harp is playing just a simple little pattern. And I'm just playing one note. But it's playing all these different samples. Oh, I'm way too loud. Right? All three of these were really fun. Dancing in the Moon. Again, round robin. So I'm playing one note. There's all sorts of different sounds that's randomly choosing in the map and giving it time. Now I'm at 65 beats per minute, so I'm going to speed it up to 95. Let's get some fun going with Kreaturesque on top of this. Now I held down init and I hold down option and init and it deleted everything but the first layer. I'm going to load this as a new Unifi layer. And I can delete that. So now I have that whole same thing now. So now it's just a single layer. Let's get rid of these. Then we can go to Kreaturesque. Let's go to the bonus where there's all sorts of cool BPM stuff to play with. Maybe not that one. Return to Armageddon. Let's see what that sounds like. Sounds a little ominous. Our Happy Dog Dance. And again, I think this is, I have to, oh, it's following. Maybe the layers inside are not set to follow. Yeah, okay, never mind. It was a fun thought while I had it, but it's just gonna fall apart. So if a situation like this crops up, follow host is turned off on a lot of these patches, right? We have a setting now to fix that. Go over to settings, and right here, always set follow host. So this way it will always follow host, whether it's set or not. So it's a really nice setting. You should have that on by default. Because now I could load up these patches, and even if they don't, they will be set to follow. So now I could go back to Cloud City. Go to the bells. Give it time. And now it's like... Oh! Let's do this. Let's add a zebra to it. And I also love Bazille. Let's do this. Let's right click on all these. Oh, why is it not giving me my right click to do what I usually... It seems to have defaulted back to its old way of working. So now I can go over here and I can add a bass. Low priority. And then we need to have it stop right here at B and Cloud City, we need something else to tie it together. Go to this sound here, maybe put something for motion. And then after that, let's put a little bit of degrade. Let's put distortion, degrade. Look it up in the manual. Yes, Warlock is a great synth. Highly recommended. And if you use a DAW system that doesn't support VST, VST3, you can still use it with Unifi because Unifi can load it in. It's interesting. Yeah, it's very must-have for the price, and it's unique. It has the ability with the stuff that's in it tool-wise to do some unique things. All right, well, guys, I'm going to wrap up for the day. I hope you enjoyed this. It was fun. Yes, the colors. Let's talk about the interface. You guys already covered it, so I don't really need to cover it too much. But green means it's an instrument layer. Blue is an auxiliary, and we don't have anything on the auxiliaries right now. So we have Hall, delay, reverb. So this would be nice for... See, what's fun with this is because it's an auxiliary bus, other things can share it. So there's two different layers that can have different sends while everybody else doesn't have it. These guys are dry. If I wanted the drums, I can send to it. I do this all the time and it's so fun. So go to the knobs. Here's one that's not being used. Go linked parameters. Let's set this knob up so that it goes to the drums and it's going to change the auxiliary send amount. So this way I can in real time get it to be a nice linear like this. So now I could say this is auxiliary send for drums. Just bring this up every now and then. have it go away, and it rings out, but the drums keep playing. The difference between this and what it'd be like if, let's just use the water verbs. Let's go copy this setting. Let's go over here to the drums, and let's, we got to go over here and say, give me a reverb, water verb, and paste the settings, operations, paste state. So now, since it's now on the actual bus for the drums, when I bring down the mix, it goes away right away. Right? It doesn't ring out. What's really fun is as an auxiliary bus, what happens is I can bring this back down. So now the drums are totally dry, they're not being processed, but just certain colors can be accented. So you can use this as cool production in your track, so it's just not static and just sitting there not changing. Right? Because you have this nice long reverb that every now and then when you hit it. And if you want to take it even farther out, this is a trick that I love to do. Go to our EQ page to filter max, say high pass filter, and then set it up so that it's a nice resonant What if it was doing that while it's doing everything else? Well, you can do that. Now I'm going to do a shortcut. I'm going to hold down Option and I click this bullet and it pops up this link parameters page quickly. And we go to auxiliary bus, to the effects, to filter max. And we want to have one for the filter for the frequency as it goes up, and then another one for the auxiliary effects filter max for the Q, the resonance. So this way, as the knob starts low, now it's not the right effect yet. So we want to first have it be down like this. We want the Q to be up and then actually double click to add an extra point so that it comes back down. So when it gets to the top part, it's not so resonant. Sounds much nicer up here when the resonance goes down. So now you can add extra color. If it's up here, it's just nice, airy stuff. This is the advantage of having breakpoints in our knob travel range. If this was like most of your stuff that has this type of capability, you don't have the ability to do multiple points, so it's just like this. And now when you get to the top, it's just this painful, resonant, like, ugh. No, you want to be able to, you'd have to have the resonance go down. Whereas this way I can have it so that it can come back down after being up and strong for this whole travel range. Now up here, have it start to go down. That's just cool sizzle. Right? So that's the kind of production stuff you can get into with the tools in Unify. I mean, this isn't using any third-party plugins or anything like that. This is all stuff that's just built into Unify that it can do. So I do that all the time. Really cool example. Probably my favorite example in Cloud City is the percussion map with the drum groove, the one circle. So if we go here, BPM drums, at the end of all the drums, where did I put them? Or is it BPM perc? The real Percussion Kit, United is one. This has a really cool thing where nice build up. Then it has this nice cool bloom out when you bring it back down. Right? Right, so you all sorts of fun things like that. So that technique, if you look at this knob, it's got all sorts of things set up for the shape, how it's going to do, multiple breakpoints, all that kind of stuff. So study things like this if you want to and enjoy. All right, time for shout outs. Is there a list of which Spitfire Lab instruments I would need to install to use the Unify library? I don't think we've gone through and made a database of which labs libraries we have used and which libraries we haven't, just because at the beginning of this, all of these are all the patches for all the libraries. So for these to all work, you need to own each of the libraries. When it gets to the bonus stuff, different ones use different things, but all the way through here, these are all different libraries. Just install them all. Get yourself a nice big fat external hard drive, and they're free and they're useful. There's some really great stuff on all of these different libraries that they have. So might take a minute to load, right? Combine that with the soft piano up here. Right click, add into new Unify layer, and pan them left and right. And then bring up your auxiliary sands. Then we could go to maybe pipe organ. They have these really pretty pads. I'm going to make a free patch for you guys. How's that for the end of the video? Make up for some other stuff. Let's see if we add moon guitar. How about tremolos? That'd be pretty. We don't have it yet. We don't have motion, but that's going to be one of these days. Let's bring low. Put a ton of effects on this. What we can do is use Pump House. Or else, you know what I'm doing? I don't have to do that because we have depth. So just bring down depth. And maybe let's add, maybe the mandolin is so nice. take it up an octave. See what that sounds like. Nah. Maybe tremolo? Unify. Let's pan these a little bit left and right since they're both trembling away. Let's call this Key Through the Windy Trees. Because I was in the wind this week. Made 4, 2, 21. Save as. Save. And I can go like option. Let's see. Option save so it can show up and reveal in the Finder. And I'm going to drag this over. Oh, I got to put it in Dropbox first, don't I? So I got to go Dropbox. Let's see here. Plugging through freebies. Go over here to let's compress this. And then we'll put this into Dropbox. And oh, you know what? I forgot to name it. You know what I did? Yeah, I gotta do that. I gotta go delete. Has to be a bonus patch, which means it needs to have a Z at the end of it. So let's go like this and go save Z, save as. Oh, and I need to put my. Did I put my let's see, John Lemcool? So I am not Spitfire audio, and save as save. And now reveal that. And hello. Reveal in the Finder. Compress. And then drag this over to Dropbox, and I will give you the link. And you can download this. And if you own all these libraries for labs, you can install this and play with it. So right here it is. Boom. All right. And it will be part of labs. I'll update labs. If you download labs later today, it will have this patch in it. I don't have my trusty 64 audio in-ear monitors. I'm using some speakers I don't really trust, so I will double check this with speakers to make sure that it works. I need to see one thing. If I go key, let's see if I can spell key through the trees. Yeah, I did. So we'll select key through the trees, right click and say delete this patch, and we'll delete it from the database so we only have the Z key because it's a bonus patch. The way we do our naming system is if it doesn't have a Z in front of it, then these are the ones that come inside of the library's stock. Sounds exactly like it does. Maybe it's a little sweeter because of our mastering effect channel that we put onto everything. That makes everything just sound just a little bit better, a little bit more full. But all the Z stuff is where you get to all the bonus stuff that everybody has made, right? So, thank you. We got to do our shout outs. Shout out from Portland, Oregon. Enjoy the patch? Yeah, I think they're T18s. They're incredible speakers. in your monitors. I trust them like I've never trusted anything in my ears before. This would sound good with that keyboard sound I just made. So let's go here. Ooh, that's pretty. Right, really nice. Cool. So next week we will be playing around with the new Heinbach library. It will be unified, and Heinbach will be here to say hi to all of you. You can ask him some questions. Maybe some of you have vintage gear or want to get vintage gear to play with. It's kind of fun to make weird sounds from electromechanical things. It's like, you know, how do you start? We have all sorts of good questions we'll ask him. So awesome, awesome. Look at this. Yeah, get ready for Polarized from Rocky Mountain Sounds. It's really cool. San Diego. Ken up in the Camino Islands. Nice. Valencia, Spain. Hi, Jose. Nice to meet you. Les in Poland. Our friends in Destin, Florida. Germany. Norway. Worldwide. I love some of you guys are up, just about ready to go to bed, and other people about ready to go have lunch. That's so fun. Ed, hi, nice to meet you, Ed, in Virginia. Welcome. Night Flame in Munich. Thank you, Zian. From Germany, nice. Now let's add something else. I want to add a little oohie to this. I love Bazille. Bazille is like the coolest. It's like I can't get enough. So if we go BPM, I think I put all the ARP stuff into BPM. So you find all the different things here. No more boredom. And if it doesn't work, you can just open up and go. All works. It's so fun. And even this is a unified layer inside a Unifi. What I love with Unifi is I can still add patches from this internal Unifi. Well, no, that's not quite right. So open up that layer. So I now have 3 layers of Unifi. Go. So if you want, you can add Candy Insect Conspiracy and Cloudland Pad. Play open chords, you're safe. Cloud City. Right? Fun, good stuff. Thank you for joining. It's fun to see you all. We will see you in a week. Yay for multiple threading, exactly. I think at this point we're just chugging along. I'm doing some voicing on a synth that I'm really hoping they can get to be more efficient. There are cases where 2 notes completely kill the computer. And here we are playing 6, 8 note chords with like tons of layers. Yeah. Good stuff. So yay for computers and all they can do. Never stops. But yeah, shout out to Shane. Shout out to Shane. He's our programming guru to get us to where we are. This possibility wouldn't be available without Shane. So thank you, Shane. All right. Be well, stay healthy, be happy, see everything that's going on, and enjoy life. And we will see you guys in the next live stream in 1 week. Bring your questions for Heinbach. We're going to start a series on programming. So if you have sounds that you would like to hear how to make that sound, Unify support at pluginguru.com. Send me a note about sounds that you would like to hear made so we can make them in our live streams, because I want to start doing some programming lessons with you guys. Get you guys deeper into the programming tools that we have and other tools that are out there, okay? So be well. See you later. Bye. Let's see. Stop.